Hi, my name is Baltacıgil and I'm the principal cellist of the Seattle Symphony Orchestra. Today, I would like to help you meet my favorite instrument, the cello. First, we'll listen to how it sounds, then we are going to learn some fun facts about the cello and how it fits in the orchestra. Next, I will play some cello music that you might know and some that is very different. After that, I will show you how the cello is put together and play another piece of music. Finally, I will answer some questions I get asked a lot and play my cello once more before saying goodbye. Let's get started by hearing how it sounds. The cello can make both very high and low sounds. It can be bold and it can be gentle. Because the cello can do so many things, it gets a lot of beautiful melodies in the orchestra, like this. Now that we heard how it sounds, it is time to learn some fun facts. Where do you think the cellists sit in the orchestra? We sit on the outside, right next to the audience. Around us are other members of the string family, which include the violins, violas, and basses. The harp and piano also use strings to play their instruments and sit in the middle of the orchestra. Cellos are often picked by composers who want to make music that sounds graceful or dramatic. That's probably because the sounds made by the cello can be smooth, like a swan swimming, but it can also rise high and dip low, just like a human voice. Now I would like to play some music that is very popular on the cello and highlights those sounds. That was a melody a lot of people think of when they hear a cello. But I also want to play a melody that's a little different from that to show you how versatile the cello can be. What did you think of those two melodies? Next, let's learn about how a cello is put together. It has a body, a neck, and a scroll that are made of special kinds of wood. Here at the bottom is my end pin, which I can make taller or shorter to fit my height perfectly. I use this bow to play across my 4 strings to create sound. And my fingers can change the sounds by pressing on the strings and changing their length. When we play with the bow, we call it arco, but I can also use my fingers to pluck the strings to make a different kind of sound. And we call that playing pizzicato. These are all Italian words. Now that we have learned how a cello is put together, it is time to play another piece of music. You can try to watch for when I use my bow for arco or my fingers for pizzicato. And now let's answer some questions. When did I start playing the cello? That was a long time ago. I have to think about that for a while. Actually, I started playing the violin when I was about 5 or 6. And then I took a couple-year break. And then my father came home with much bigger toy. And I think I was about 7.5 or almost 8 when I started playing the cello. So that would make me 2nd grade or so. Do cellos come in smaller sizes? Yes, indeed. My cello is full-size cello. And there are quarter size, half size, 3/4, and even smaller for any kind of body type. And as I showed you earlier, with the end pin, you can adjust the height. So my daughter, who is only 8, is actually playing a full-size cello. What is my favorite music to play? That's a hard question to answer. Usually, whatever is in front of me that I'm supposed to perform as a professional musician is my favorite music to play, I would say. However, I also enjoy very much playing whatever comes from my mind and my heart, which we call it improvisation. You make it up as you go along. And that's a wonderful quality to have. And that is probably one of my favorite ways to play music. But for you, I want to play something that you can dance along. And here's an example. Maybe you can dance along while I play. Thank you so very much for watching, and be sure to tune next month to learn about other instruments of the Seattle Symphony. Goodbye for now.